Hi everyone, welcome to another video. In this video we will discuss on how to improve mill slide slew bearing reliability and productivity. Okay, come on, let's start the video. What is the cause of high temperature in a slide slew bearing on a ball mill? While the answer is very specific, it got me thinking, how many of us know what is slide slew is, what it is used, what it does, and how it is lubricated? Probably not too many. Okay, we'll see. A cement ball mill is designed to grind clinker, gypsum, and for the drying of cement additives. It is component in the cement making process. Today's ball mills are typically designed with a slide slew bearing. These bearings have replaced the more traditional Trunnion bearings, as they are less expensive to purchase and maintain. The function of the slide slew bearing is to keep the mill aligned to the mechanical process while allowing for mill rotation. Here we see advantages provided by the slide slew bearing. Lighter mill weight, less energy to operate. More compact mill while maintaining capacity as big mills. Reduced mechanical stress. Compact mill and less contact area between bearing and Trunnion ring of mill. Design and lubrication. Slide slew bearings are hydrodynamic bearings cast of steel with a babbitt overlay applied. They are fixed in relation to the sliding ring, and the shoe itself rests on a ball to allow for it, flexibility and the alignment. During mill startup, the slide slew bearings requires pre-lubrication. This is provided by a high pressure oil pump which delivers oil between bearing and journal. The oil injected under pressure lifts the mill and helps to reduce the friction between the shoe and ring, providing alignment. The minimum oil viscosity for most mills is 44 cst, means centistrokes, at 100 degrees centigrade, and typically requires an oil with an ISO 460 cst viscosity. Lubricant selection. A mineral based gear or R&O oil means oil specifically formulated to better combat rust and oxidation. It may be used to lubricate the slide slew. Mobile gear XP460 has been used successfully in many years. However, the use of mobile SHC 600 series synthetic should be considered. Specifically mobile SHC 632 or 634. These are PAO synthetics which offers first one proper viscometrics, second one improved pump ability at startup due to low power points and the lower fluid friction provided by a synthetic oil. This allows for enhanced oil flow to the shoe bearings. This is particularly important in cold climates where fluid flow is a concern. Third one, improved filterability for gear oil, providing longer lubrication life, improved filter longevity, and again better oil flow to the bearings. Maintenance tips. If bearing operating at high temperatures cause the mill trip too often, to avoid this, there are some points. Consider increasing the trip set point. This is not recommended, but even though you can try. But before do this one, consult your OEM when doing this. Making sure to evaluate the maximum operating temperature for the bearing material used. Remember, just because the oil can handle the operating temperature doesn't mean the bearing can. Other causes of high heat at the shoe bearings include lack of oil flow, oil ports clogged, filters plugged. Remember, the system should have fine filtration. Pump malfunction. Many of these mills will have a high pressure and low pressure pumps. Does the high pressure pump de-energize or turn off when the mill runs? Low ambient temperatures. This will inhibit oil flow. Mill process temperatures too high. Mill cooling temperatures inefficient or not effective. What may be the probable reason of high temperature in slide slew bearing of cement mill? First thing to do is to check the position of temperature sensor installed on the slide shoe. Second, analyze the high and low pressure oil system. Look for manuals and see working range parameters for oil temperature, oil pressure, initial high pump pressure, low pump pressure, oil flow and speed, and then observe those in operation. Once the mill is stopped for regular maintenance, check with a portable thermometer to the slide shoe from the outside. Look for temperature highest point, look for temperature difference. Metal contact first comes to mind. The root cause analysis might be tricky, though it may be high pump failure. You should see the development of pressure of oil at the startup, if the max range pressure is reached or not. Pump failures for oil lack of cleanliness are frequent. You might control as well filter status here, or if the slide shoe bearing sealing is properly tight. Pumps just lose their prevalence and increase recirculation when damaged by dust and sand very slowly. Go for oversized pump, long life ones. Not having a proper sealing leave no chance to the cement or ground powder not to enter and clog your system. Dust don't flow out easily and the rest in tanks forever. Make oil samples, analyze your results looking for metal, especially the characteristics one made of your bearings. Consult the supplier of the bearing and ask for the limit in ppm when they should worry about metal to metal contact. Contact the oil supplier and ask for chemical analysis of your oil and ask them for limits as well. You will get a good insight of your system and oil quality. Another way to check your system is that make sure during the startup the high pump are actually able to lift the mill 0.2 0.3 mm before losing pressure out of the slide shoe for increase of oil flow. You can as well as lift your mill on a side and observe the sliding parts, but indeed to do that in a proper and safe way you need some time plus an expert to look at your bearings. It might also be that bearing shape not properly done and oil doesn't flow around it. Check in this case the low pressure oil intake and outtake parts at shoe bearing boards. Look for symmetric faces between them. Metal failures and lack of roughness are less frequent. You might check at the surface of yours in case you have the suggested metal roughness suggested by bearing supplier with the right oil. What are the causes for an increase of cement mill Trunnion bearing temperatures and what are the possible solutions? Cement mill Trunnion bearing temperature may increase due to following reasons. First one, HP pump pressure is low. Second, cutoff time of HP pump after mill startup. Third point is mixing of contamination with oil. LP pump oil flow is less. Fifth one, between the two side shoes and oil tray, we have to check whether mill tire is passing duly dipped tire bottom or must be dipped in the oil. Improper function of heat exchanger.